Hello and good morning. It's 8 a.m. in New Delhi and you're watching WION Breakfast. I'm Satyashree and today Charu's taken a short break and we have a guest anchor.
Yes, hi, I'm Sejal Pandey. Thank you, Satya. It's so good to be back over here.
Welcome, Sejal. And you're watching WION Breakfast. But before moving forward with the show, here are the heads up for what's coming up this morning. On WION Breakfast this morning, we bring you a success story from New Delhi where efforts by a group of college students has helped to end the practice of open defecation.
In our world segment, we talk about a unique love story from an Iraqi refugee and a Macedonian police force officer.
This week on WION Stretch, we have Zubin Atre. Follow him for his unique yoga mantras.
And once we've sweated out, we will have some food to make up for it for all the food lovers. Stay tuned and find out what's up on Quick Bites.
So we have our guest anchor, Sejal Pandey. Sejal, tell me, it's been your birthday week.
Yes.
Tell me, what's the highlight of the week?
Highlight of the week has been, I think I've had the best birthday ever. I turned 26 this birthday.
Yay! Congratulations, Sejal turns 26.
Thank you. And it didn't feel so good because I was always thinking that I'm going on to the dirty side of 20s, and I was calling it that way. And everyone's like, no, it's not that bad. But it's turned out to be the best birthday. I was at a concert. David Guetta was playing the last concert in India. I was at the concert. The wishes haven't stopped coming in, so it's been amazing.
Well, we wish Sejal a very, very happy birthday. May the entire week be full of wonderful things.
Hopefully the month as well, Satya.
I'm sure, and the year ahead,
yes,
and every day of the year.
Absolutely.
On that note, we move forward to our first story. Now, despite efforts by successive governments over years, a majority of Indians continue to defecate in the open.
However, in Delhi's Sultanpur area, efforts by a group of college students has helped to end this practice.
That's right. WION's Kamran Ahmed brings us this story. Take a look.
This complex in Delhi's Sultanpuri area is a testament to how awareness and an innovative approach can change age-old practices. Over the past year, a group of students has been working with the local community here to make public toilets usable and in the process prevent open defecation.
Project Rahat has been a brainchild of our advisory, our third years, and before Project Rahat even began working and was in place, we had a project called Sanitation Solutions. So under Sanitation Solutions, we actually spread awareness about how to use sanitary napkins. We went in the community, we prepared surveys, and we tried to assess the needs of the people in general. So when we talked to them, we got to know that there isn't any provision available for safe sanitation, and even if there was, they were defunct.
As part of Project Rahat, the students first take charge of government-built toilet complexes, then they focus on improving management, making aesthetic modifications, and creating awareness about the importance of healthy sanitary practices.
So what we did here, for example, in Sultanpuri was we used a door-to-door approach. We came here, we spoke to the people who live here, we went in their houses, we had chai with them, we sat with them. We don't use a parent-teacher approach, a teacher-student approach where this is concerned. We sit with them as equals and we talk to them, and you used to call them with us, we used to share food with them. And the thing is, like, even with the children, we have gamification camps. As you saw, we include them and we talk to them. If they want to tell us their stories, if they want to tell us their jokes, if they want to sing for us, we encourage them to do so, because that way we build like a bond of friendship, right? And you know, if they're friends with us, they're friends with Project Rahat. And this complex, it now belongs to the community. They take care of it.
Involving the people and especially children in the process, Project Rahat has been able to make this complex in Sultanpuri a sustainable feature.
हाँ सब कुछ बताते हैं, जाकर हम बताते हैं बच्चों सबको बैठा कर आते
I tell people, especially children, about healthy sanitary
हैं,
practices.
उनको हाथ धोवाते हैं, उनके लिए बच्चे के लिए अलग से लगा रखे हैं हम, उसके लिए बच्चों को अलग से है। बच्चे भी बड़े आते हैं हमारे यहाँ, और इससे पहले बच्चे सब ये पार्क में
Now children frequent this place. Earlier, they used to defecate in the open. Even women used to go out. At present, all of them come here to use the toilet. This place is open throughout the day.
आ जाएं, 2 बजे रात को भी आ जाएं, किसी टाइम आइए, आपको यहाँ खुला हुआ मिलेगा।
The Enactus team of Shahid Sukhdev College of Business Studies is behind the success of Project Rahat, which is now moving to work in other areas of the city. In New Delhi with Abhinav Raina, Kamran Ahmed, WION.
Lovely kids over there. Now, Sejal, looking at this story, I cannot but help wonder how on one hand we have these huge environmental concerns and green gas emissions, and you know there's this global climate change initiative, and on the other, in our own backyards, defecation is such a big issue. I mean, there's some places which you can't even go to because of the strong stench around there.
Absolutely.
I mean, come on,
It was
what do you think
also
about?
a huge part of Narendra Modi's Clean India, Swachh Bharat campaign to, you know, end defecation, open defecation in a big way. And I believe they're moving forward in a good way. They've been able to achieve quite a bit for a very long time.
Well, we're talking about huge volumes of people. I mean, our country is not a very small country, you know. So for it to be fully
and traditionally,
realized,
we've been taught to go out in the open to defecate. You know, it's actually considered a good thing in a lot of remote parts of the city. And unfortunately, I mean, even though they're spoiling cities, they also kind of tend to spoil historic places.
take a look at this. Take a look at this wonderful video. You know, I found this video on the internet the other day, where a van with water is out there. Look at them just embarrassing the hell out of these people. I mean, seriously, although it's supposed to be a very, very fun video, the idea is to, well, bring attention to the fact that, come on, dudes, I mean, this is not cool. And two, to clean up the place.
I think it serves these people right, you know. There are such double standards in this country. I remember I was driving through Bangalore once, and there was one of these guys who was peeing on the road right next to a god's painting, one of their gods or goddesses painting. So it's such a double standard. On one side, you know, you try to keep the temple in your house clean, but on the other hand, just because that painting or mural is on the road, you want to pee right next to it.
I know, that's terrible. I have to share this one incident with you. Sometimes I get so upset seeing some people just destroy this beautiful piece of land that we have around us. I get really upset sometimes, and the evil person in me just comes out. So there are times, especially when it's night time and I see people, you know, openly relieving themselves. I switch on my light of my car, put it on high beam, and go blip, 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 blip.
Well done, Satya.
I mean, that's the least I can do. It's like, do not spoil this beautiful place.
I think I'm going to start carrying a water gun like these guys. Not a hose pipe, but at least a water gun. And I'm going to just like hide into the bushes and treat them with what they're treating the environment with.
Exactly. And not just that, we're cleaning up the place. Look, you're dirtying the place, we're cleaning up the place.
Absolutely.
Well, also on that note, there are lots of places which are just beautiful, and it's just because of human effort and not so flattering effort that they become just so unapproachable. And there are some other places which are called the red light district. Right. Now, moving over to Pakistan, we have a story where Pakistan's oldest red light district was for centuries a hub of traditional erotic dancers, musicians and prostitutes, Pigalle with a Mughal twist deep in the heart of vibrant Lahore.
But as the e-commerce boom has come in, several of these traditional, you know, dancers have been replaced by these websites that kind of bring students, young students together and put them into the prostitution racket, you know.
That's right. Pakistan, let's look at how Pakistan conducts the world's oldest profession, according to locals. The historic Hira Mandi district is under threat. Let's take a look at how that's panning out.
A centuries-old tradition for the world's oldest profession. Since the Mughal era, music and dance have been the heart and soul of Hira Mandi, Pakistan's oldest red light district in Lahore. But over time, what was considered an art form has descended into common prostitution. For Rima, the sex trade is a family business passed on by her mother and her grandmother before her.
We have been taught since our childhood that we have to talk in a decent way if someone comes. We have been trained that this is our profession and how to behave if a client comes. But the prostitutes who come to this business from outside have no such etiquette.
A new generation of sex workers has moved out of the red light district, leaving the streets where women once showed off their charms desolate. Hira Mandi's long decline was accelerated by technology. Dozens of escort websites have emerged, making traditional pimps and musicians redundant.
Technology has taken over our profession. Music that used to be played by 6 to 7 people is now being played by one with a laptop. So what will happen to these 6 men whose job is no longer needed? All these people who are in this profession, like myself, are jobless.
The trade has moved to the city's wealthier neighborhoods, and some are making the most of it. Cosmetic surgeon by day, Mehak is one of Pakistan's most elite madams by night. She recruits girls through VIP parties and uses her home as a brothel for upper-class Pakistanis.
The rates of medical students are higher, and the rates of MBA students are much higher. Most of these girls come from university hostels.
In a deeply conservative country where prostitution is banned and sex outside marriage criminalized, the sex industry shows no sign of slowing down. And it won't. None of the heirs of Hira Mandi can help it.
Sejal, I don't know what to make of this story. It's touching me in different ways. On one hand, we're talking about the different dance forms and the beautiful dance forms, which have been kind of relegated to the background because now it's turned into a profession, or it's being fueled. It's fueling a profession.
Yes.
And now
which
we're
is
talking
sadly
about
attracting students,
which is
college students,
that's
MBA
right.
students.
That's
and,
right.
And it's really sad that they have to resort to things like these just for money, just to, you know, earn an additional income.
That's right. And here we're talking about sourcing these dancers, sourcing these people. Well, what can we say? I mean, I'm really full of mixed feelings in this one.
So am I, Satya, absolutely. I mean, on one hand, a traditional art form is losing its charm, but on the other hand, it's being replaced by something that's really delirious, really evil.
That's right. And well, Sejal is also a technology producer, so maybe you can give a technology solution to this.
Like he said in the bite that it's also leaving a lot of people redundant, but to that, I think a lot of people are of that opinion, especially people who are in the traditional professions. So we have to accept at some point that with technology we will be moving forward, you know. At some point some things will become redundant.
That's right.
But when something new comes in, yes, 5 people do become redundant, but it also gives 5 people an opportunity to learn something new and move forward with the times.
That's right.
So I think as soon as we accept that we have to move forward with technology, maybe not as, you know, in the same speed as it moves forward with, but at our own pace, but we should definitely move forward with it.
That's right. As the masters say, the old order yieldeth, laying out way for the new. On that note, it's time to slip into a very short break, but come right back because we have lots more stories from across the world lined up for you on WION Breakfast. Welcome back. You're still with us on WION Breakfast with our guest anchor Sejal Pandey, who is keeping the seat warm for Charu, who's taken a short vacation. Well, Sejal, tell us, this is again your birthday week. What is the highlight of your day today? What makes you happy today?
What makes me happy today is that I'm having breakfast with you today.
That's lovely,
and,
thank you.
I was telling Rishabh also in the morning that finally this is making me a morning person. I never thought I'd wake up this early and eat this early. I had chocolate for breakfast because I couldn't swallow regular breakfast. But yes, I've had this resolution for a very long time that I want to become a morning person, and
there you are.
There I am.
Well, that is a wonderful thing that WION Breakfast is making Sejal do. Well, as we always say, the glass is half full, and we went on the streets of New Delhi and asked people what makes them happy. Let's take a look at what they have to say.
Charlotte, the thing that makes me really happy is laughing.
Hi, my name is Das Gupta. What makes me really happy is that I'm still living healthy.
Kanchan, one thing which makes me really happy is open green spaces, which we don't get to see so much in Delhi.
Hi, my name is Jyoti Anand, and the one thing that makes me very happy is traveling, being somewhere else other than where I am, seeing and meeting new people.
My name is Vinita. The one thing that makes me happy is come here to Delhi from Canada on a winter day and shop here and eat all the street food.
Hi, my name is Denise, and what makes me very happy is my husband of 50 years.
It's just wonderful to hear people talk about good things, happy things, whatever cheers them up. Well, what cheers me up is getting up early in the morning. I'm such a morning person. I love this whole ritual of getting up in the morning, making myself a cup of hot, piping hot South Indian filter coffee along with some croissant or something nice and warm to eat, and just getting myself completely in my space to host the WION Breakfast show.
I completely agree with you, Satya. I never thought I would become a morning person at some point in my life, but I am. All of this energy, the good energy is passing on, it's rubbing off.
Very happy to hear. I always like to believe there's love in the air every time.
Yes, absolutely.
Everywhere.
Love is also something that makes me really happy. You know, just loving flowers or the weather or just about anything, you know. And on that note, we have a really different love story. This is about an Iraqi woman, and actually she was a refugee and she fell in love with a Macedonian police officer.
Oh wow, a Macedonian police officer.
And while she was crossing the Syrian border is when they fell in love, and apparently she was also sick. So let's take a look at this story. It's really interesting.
Yes, let's take a look at this story. Noura Arkawazi, a Kurdish Muslim and an Orthodox Christian, Bobby Dodevsky, quickly fell in love after they met at a muddy border. Let's take a look at their unique love story.
The scene was hardly conducive to romance. She was a sick Iraqi in a wave of refugees trying to enter Serbia, while he belonged to the stern Macedonian police force keeping guard. But Noura Arkawazi, a Kurdish Muslim, and Orthodox Christian Bobby Dodevsky quickly fell in love after they met at the muddy border. She says at one point Islamic State jihadists kidnapped her father, an engineer, and demanded thousands of dollars for his return. Noura, with her brother, sister and parents, abandoned home and began a long journey west, crossing the border into Turkey, taking a boat to the Greek island of Lesbos and eventually entering Macedonia. Their path was one well-trodden by hundreds of thousands of people escaping in the Middle East, Africa and Asia. And travelers, the Arkawazis had their sights set on Germany. While her family continued on their odyssey, Noura stayed put in Macedonia after Cupid's arrow struck. When she first met Bobby, Noura had a high fever and was desperate to know if her family could cross the border into Serbia. Balkan countries had just begun closing their doors to migrants, so the fate of those transiting through Macedonia was unclear. The other police officers all directed her to Bobby because he spoke good English, and he made sure she and her frail mother were taken care of with medical aid and blankets.
I chose the good man for my life, and I will marry with him. I don't want to marry with another guy. And my parents, they be so nervous and angry. And why he doesn't tell to us? And I say, I'm scared because we have a big border behind Muslim and Christian language.
In the coming days, while migrants waited in limbo in the Tabanovke transit camp, Bobby and Noura spent more time together. He would take her and her mother to local markets to buy food and clothes. Noura, who speaks 6 languages and began helping with the local Red Cross, liked the way the tall policeman would play with the migrants' children, unlike some of his more serious colleagues. The Macedonian force has faced criticism for its treatment of migrants, particularly for firing tear gas at some of those trying to cross the border from Greece. One evening in April, Bobby invited Noura to a restaurant where she recalls him being extremely nervous, drinking lots of water and shaking. Then he suddenly proposed.
For example, look me when I'm laughing. Pictures for you.
Noura is reluctant to talk about her family now, except to say that she is relieved that they are living safely in Germany. The town is one of Macedonia's most ethnically mixed, with Muslim Albanians, Serbs, Roma, Turks and other groups as well as the ethnic Macedonian majority. The couple now lives with Bobby's 3 children from previous marriages, and Noura is expecting their first baby.
After everything I have in my life, bad and good stuff, and when I see Noura for the first time, I see something good in eyes for she. Here in Macedonia, we live in one community who is mixed with the Muslim, with the Orthodox, Catholics, and every religion have here. I'm Orthodox, she's Muslim, and between these 2 religions we have big wall, but big border. But if you love somebody so much, you're gonna find the way to break this border.
As a sign of their commitment, the lovers have each other's names emblazoned on their forearms in matching swirly tattoos. Migrant numbers at the nearby Tabanovke camp have dropped off sharply since the so-called Balkan route was effectively shut down, although some still cross with smugglers.
This is a nice story and we would like to have more like this. Unfortunately, it's not really common. Noura was just one of them who decided to stay here, who settled here and find other interests and motivations to stay. But most of the people actually are eager to continue.
Bobby hopes that their romantic tale will encourage other young people to overcome barriers to be with the one they love. Bureau Report, WION.
You know, this is the kind of material that fairy tales are made of.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, what a love story.
And what a lesson how love brings together 2 very different Orthodox families from 2 different religions.
Oh my God, that is just awesome. Don't you wish you had a love story like this?
Yes, absolutely. It's actually these kind of love stories that we should believe in rather than the movies.
I know, right? I mean, there's no living happily ever after.
Yeah.
It's just living together in harmony and harmonious coexistence.
Absolutely.
Tell me, now is a time for confession. Tell me, is there anything you want to tell me about your love story?
I want to confess that I've once written a huge long letter, a long love letter. And I've never owned up to it or never spoken about it. So, yes, parents, if you're watching this, I've been a teenager too.
All right, then, confessions happening on live television on WION Breakfast. With that, it's time for a very short break. But stay tuned as Sejal and I will pick up the papers after the break and read between the lines. But come right back because you're still with us on WION Breakfast. Welcome back. You're with us on WION Breakfast with our guest anchor Sejal Pandey. And before going ahead with the show, let's take a look at what's making news and check out the headlines making news at this hour of the day today.
The gunman who killed 39 people in a Turkey nightclub on New Year's Day has been arrested in Istanbul. 4 others have been detained.
In a big victory for Akhilesh Yadav, the Election Commission of India allows him to retain Samajwadi Party's symbol, the bicycle. But Mulayam's camp likely to challenge the decision.
After World Bank, the International Monetary Fund cuts India's growth rate from 6.6% from its previous estimate of 7.6% for the current fiscal year.
Theresa May to unveil her strategy for Brexit today. This comes after months of pressure to show her future vision of the UK outside the European Union.
Barack Obama wants US President-elect Donald Trump to retain the Iran nuclear deal, says the US must remember that this agreement was the result of years of work and represents an agreement between the world's major powers.
So those were the headlines making news at this hour, and now it's time for Sejal and I to pick up the papers and read what's happening between the lines. Sejal, so let's start with you. Let's start with what the interesting articles that you found today.
Before I start, Satya, I think I'd like to say this is my favorite part on WION Breakfast. I really look forward to reading between the lines.
Very happy to hear. I'm sure Tara would be very happy to hear about that too.
Yes, absolutely. And the story that I've picked up today is about this this group of painters, this group of artists called the Aravani Art Project from Bangalore. These guys are preparing for the Mumbai Pride Parade 2017.
Oh, nice.
And the entire, about 20 people from the LGBT community in Bombay have come together to paint some walls in Dharavi.
Oh,
now,
wonderful.
I would like to tell you exactly what they've painted. So they've painted a trans woman and a carnation, which is a flower, with male and female reproductive organs, with the pride slogan that it only gets better, which means it only gets better.
That's right.
Right. So very, very beautiful depiction of both the genders on a flower.
Wow. Look at that. Look at that gorgeous spectacle in color. That's called the Aravani project, huh?
Yes. And Aravani, by the way, is a Tamil word for transgenders.
Oh, that's news to me.
So it's called Aravani Art Project. And they also said something very beautiful. They said we called everyone, you know. The trans community is done attracting negative vibes. And I'm quoting these guys on this. By generating awareness and keeping the event open to all, we want to channel this negativity into something positive.
How wonderful.
Like Meryl Streep recently said, take that broken heart and make it into art.
There you go.
Right there.
Oh my God, that is one community. Events like these are events that I just love to be part of.
Yes,
I mean, there's so much of togetherness. There's just so much of pride in being what you are.
Pride, love, everything that we should actually care about and actually, root
Stand for.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, on that note, I will bring your attention to this one article that will interest you in particular because some time ago you went underwater diving.
Yes, scuba diving in the Andamans.
Scuba diving in the Andamans. So I'm looking at the Indian Express, and this is an article about underwater drones, and it's called The One That Didn't Get Away. Yeah, it's the ultimate angling aid, a fishing drone.
Yes, I read about it. In fact, CES just concluded a while ago, and
bang on.
Yes,
bang on. Well, Sejal is right on top of technology because she is a tech producer. Nothing escapes her eyes when it comes to technology. So this is about a technology that was launched in the CES. It is. It says most pastimes nowadays involve lots of high-tech gadgets for fishermen. These range from electronic bite alarms to carbon fiber rods, specialized clothing and tackle boxes stuffed with various odds and ends. There is so much clobber that some anglers use trolleys to lug around their gear. Now the ultimate piece of kit has arrived, a fishing drone. A fishing drone. Now, why I bring this to your notice is not just because you're fond of scuba diving, but the gadget, the device itself is called Power Ray, that comes from Power Vision. a drone maker in Beijing. It is submersible that carries a video camera to send images of Neptune's kingdom back to the angler on the bank or boat. These pictures either still or video can be viewed on the screen of the handheld unit that controls the drone or on a smartphone.
Right. Basically, they don't need to leave anglers or hooks around in water to
That's
fish.
right.
Right.
And remember, you telling me that you actually found a fishing hook around there?
Yes,
in
and
the
we
Andamans?
actually took it and we kept it in our boat because, you know, when you're fishing, fine, you fish, but leaving these hooks around, you fish unnecessarily. It affects the marine life.
That's
and
right.
it leads to you know, the reduction of marine life in a large way because people just leave their hooks behind, and sometimes it's also very difficult to keep track of them because the surface is choppy and you lose control over stuff. So I think yes, this will you know, help not you know, taking away the marine life.
Yeah, it just puts that much more more attention on that. Well, the company hopes to offer future versions of the Power Ray without a cord, probably using low-frequency systems which could provide limited range in fresh water. These would be intended for underwater photography.
Oh, wow.
For the fishermen, it is also looking at how to deliver a baited hook directly to a specific destination on the river bed or seafloor and then settle down to keep a watch over it. Anglers will thus have direct video evidence of the one that got away.
Right.
Yeah. So, so I knew this article would interest you a whole lot, and I, of course, not knowing that you would totally be on top of it anyway, I thought underwater drones anyway. Oh my God! I mean, we've seen drones flying over our heads. Now we see drones in water.
Absolutely. I remember we took a GoPro. It was a little difficult to manage it because it's just like, you know, you're also taking care of your gear and you have to take care of your breathing with different equipment. You're breathing through your mouth. So there are a lot of things that you have to take care of. And this is just like an added boon, especially for marine life enthusiasts who take huge cameras with them for underwater photography.
I know, I'm sure. What happens? So when you're underwater, do they give you some special, what happens to people who are like sensitive skin and all that?
Sensitive skin. So we have wetsuits, but
for the faces.
Sorry.
For the faces.
For the faces, nothing. Just
Nothing
deal with it. No.
Okay then. I remember your next article is about fairness creams.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Tell us about that.
So, like I said, deal with it. Indians, especially, don't know how to deal with dark skin. We have this fixation with fair skin.
Sometimes, yes, and it's very sad.
And yes, our fairness cream markets are huge. And here is this article about a 19-year-old girl. She's a media and communication student in Manipal University. And she writes this really moving article about how her friends she's seen her friends growing up not playing in the sun because they'd get dark. She's talked about how, you know, these advertisements mislead us and they say it affects your confidence directly, which kind of has a subconscious effect on us.
A 19-year-old
you know, a guy
girl
rejecting a girl basis dark skin.
A 19-year-old girl is talking about this.
Girl.
That's the kind of effect advertisements have on you.
Absolutely, but it's appalling because if a 19-year-old can have the brains to understand this, I don't understand why are we so fixated on dark skin.
Yes.
You know? She also
and
talks about
across age groups.
Friend. Yes, exactly. So she said, in my early teens, I saw people made friendships based on color, but she says her best friend is dark skin, and she had the most beautiful heart, and that's what real beauty is about. It's about your heart, it's about your disposition, it's about how good or bad you are on the inside, not...
Well, like I've said, a 19-year-old girl, she's so sensitive and she's so totally clued in to understand that, well, beauty is it skin deep? Is it not skin deep? I mean, there is a conversation happening in the head of a 19-year-old.
Yes.
So I think adults, I'm sure, can do much better.
Absolutely.
Well,
and fairness creams, companies should be more responsible with their advertising, definitely.
I totally agree. Well, there have been ambassadors, brand ambassadors, who've kind of spoken very vocally against it. Well, from the face to the eyes, what can your eyes say about your health? I am looking at Mint. It's an article by Kavita Devgan says the eyes are a good place to look for signs of trouble brewing in the body. An eye checkup is in fact relatively an inexpensive way of doing so. A comprehensive checkup which includes testing all parameters pertaining to the eye costs about 600 to 1000 rupees, Indian rupees, and takes about 30 minutes to an hour. Now, what all can the eyes tell about our health? They can tell us whether we have hypertension, blood pressure is mostly asymptomatic, but an eye doctor may be able to detect it through the retina check. Wow. Yes, cholesterol levels. High cholesterol can trigger changes in the eye that are detectable. The condition shows up as yellowish deposits on the eyelids. Real quick, cancer, according to Dr. Jayan, cancer can start in the eye and can spread to the eye. Early detection and treatment of cancer in the eye can be vision-saving and in some cases life-saving. Thyroid issues, diabetes, I mean, you name it, autoimmune disease, extreme stress, neurological problems. While the annoying eyelid twitch you get from time to time likely signals fatigue, stress or sensitivity to caffeine, it could also be a sign of underlying neurological disorder. I mean, imagine.
So many things.
As they say, it's a whole world out there in the eyes.
Absolutely.
And the biological, the physiological symptoms are all out there. Doctors can diagnose you just by looking into your eyes.
I never knew, but when you were reading this out to me, I just realized that, you know, when you get jaundice, your eyes go yellow, and that's how when I got jaundice, it was detected.
It is detected?
Yes.
So, eyes, face, I mean, human beings are just a wonder.
Yes, absolutely.
On that wonderful note, we'll take a very short break, but come right back because we've got our fitness coming up on the other side. So stay tuned and we'll come right back.
Welcome back. You're watching WION Breakfast with me, Sejal Pandey, and the lovely Satyashree Gandham.
And now it's time for WION Stretch. And this week we bring you a yoga session with Zubin Atre, and he will take his Atre Yoga series to a different level, and he takes the series further as we watch WION Stretch that will help keep all of us very, very fit.
Guten Morgen, this is Zubin from Atre Yoga Studio. Today we are going to do a set of series which will be doing standing. These are balancing positions, and the idea would be to align your breath and use the breath to balance. Standing tall on the top of your mat, you'll be grounding your left foot on the mat and bringing all the body weight towards the left foot. Very gently you bring your right foot up and place it on the inside of the left thigh. Use the arch of the foot to help you feel gripped on the left leg. You can shift your body weight towards your left hand side further so that you feel more balanced and grounded. You can also place your foot further down close to the knee, close to the shin, ankle, or wherever you find it's comfortable for you to hold today. Now from there, when you breathe in, you're going to just simply bring your hands together right into the center of the chest. Pressing your palms into each other would give you that sense of stability and balance. Continue breathing in and out and make sure that your chin is slightly lifted up. Shoulders are left away from the ears and your breath is very comfortable and relaxed. Take a long deep breath in, bring both the arms at your shoulder level and reach out with your fingers as far as they can get. Reach out as far as you can, leave the shoulders further out and away from the ears, continue breathing in and out. You still have your hands visible with the corner of the eyes. And slowly when you breathe out, you just have to simply bring your hands together right up on top of the head, press your palms into each other, glue your palms together. You can interlock your thumbs, keeping your hands together. You just have to push your elbows back as they can get, letting yourself have that expansion and openness in your chest so that you can take a long deep breath into the lungs. Now slowly when you breathe out, you're going to bring both your arms back at your shoulder level again, reaching out with your fingers as far as they can get. Simply pull the arms further back and behind the ears, behind the arms, send them as back as they can get and still maintain that gentle lift in your chin. For an extra nice stretch, you can slowly pull your fingers in towards yourself, sticking your palms out. Continue breathing in and out. Make sure that your neck remains relaxed and right above your chest. As you breathe out, you'll be sending both the arms up higher, reaching up with your hands together, both the arms in touch with your ears. Leave the space your neck and your shoulders would need and grow tall as you can. Continue breathing in and out. Your breath remains very gentle and soft. You're keeping your eyes connected to a point which is slightly higher than your eye level. Slowly when you breathe out, you're going to bring both your arms at your shoulder level, both your hands are visible with the peripheral vision. Bring your right hand onto the inside of the right knee and start pushing the right knee further back and away from the body. Push it as back as you can and slowly send your left arm back, lifting your chin up, chest up, continue breathing in and out. And this very gentle twist you have in your back at the moment. Now slowly when you breathe out, you're going to bring your left arm in front and look at a point which is slightly higher than your eye level. At the same time, you're going to take your right hand to the right foot, grab the ankle from the inside with the thumb pointing up, and the body slowly opens up into the Natrajasana. Continue breathing in and out. Your breath remains very gentle and soft. Now slowly when you breathe out, you're going to slowly put your foot down onto the mat and relax. So when it comes to the balancing position, it does take some time and practice to get the stability and stillness. But it's perfectly fine. Remember that you always need to breathe in and out, and you'll be fine throughout the series. I'll see you on the mat very soon.
You know what? Charu is not here, and I'm glad I don't get to hear any fitness gyan. Oh my gosh, she's a fitness freak. She leaves no opportunity to give me a huge long fitness gyan all the time.
I've heard so much about it from you before as well, and you'll be really glad to know that I'm not a fitness person at all. I mean, yes, it's a treat to watch Zubin like this, but my fitness mantra is have chocolate for breakfast.
Well, you know what, talking about food, that's exactly what the doctor ordered for both of us. So let me take you to Chef Abhinav, who will teach us some of his recipes, and this time it's oaty fruity meal. Take a look.
Hey guys, welcome to Jamie's Italian. This is Chef Abhinav. The recipe for the day is Jamie's oat fruity meal. Let's get started and I'll teach you how we do it. This is ready, beautiful and very healthy.
Wow, that looks really appetizing, Satya, but let me tell you, I feel oats will always remain oats. No matter how much you dress them up, they will always remain oats.
Right. I agree to that completely. But then you know what, when there's nothing available and early in the morning after the breakfast, we actually sit down to have our breakfast, and Charu is actually bringing out some healthy stuff. So I'd rather just not say a lot, because tomorrow I may not get my breakfast and then I'd be left wondering, oh, why did I say that?
I'll start bringing you chocolates for breakfast. It's really good breakfast.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, coming back to our hashtag for the day is indeed what I just said. Why did I say that? Why did I do that? You know, that's our hashtag for the day today. Let's see what people have to say about why they did say what they did. Well, Aga Asad Hussain says, waiter, here you go, sir, enjoy your meal. And me, I say, thanks, you too, face palm. My God.
Going through a drive-through at McDonald's and say, for takeaway, please. Why did I say that?
Seriously, I mean, dude, you don't go to a drive-away and do that. Rob says, how are you? The customer says, good. How about yourself? Miss? Good. And you? I know. It's
just can't get enough.
I know, right?
Why would you like soup or salad? Would you like soup or salad? Yeah, sure. The super salad is fine. What's a super salad?
Super salad? Kelly says, at a Christmas party, someone complimented my hair and I said, thanks, I made it myself, and she walked away. You know, so the things we do, I tell you, Sejal.
At work and just told a random customer over the phone, okay, see you later.
No, I won't. I mean, come on, who does that? Jodie and Matt once said, "Excuse me," to a mannequin. And then I realized it wasn't a real person, so I said, "Oh, you're not real.
Sorry."
Sorry.
Getting a haircut, barber asked me, "What do I do for a living?" I said, "Advertising. What about you?" He replied, "I am a barber."
It is. I mean, seriously, the kind of things we say and the kind of things we do, we are left wondering, oh, why did I say this? Why did I say this?
Happens to me so many times.
Well, with that, with this, we would like to unmic ourselves and request you and urge all of you to connect with us on Twitter. Sejal has a Twitter handle.
Yes, it's called @Sejal_WION, and yours is G Satyaji, which I really like.
Thank you very much. And our breakfast handle is, of course, @WION_breakfast. So tweet to us and write to us on Facebook. Check us out on our digital and mobile web sites. And for now, we leave you with visuals of something really nice and wonderful happening. And closing up, this is Satyashree Gandham.
And I'm Sejal Pandey. You've been watching WION Breakfast. Thank you for joining us.
With a few snaps of a fancy dress party that took place in Russian embassy in New Delhi.